Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you guys are. Welcome back to Aronex Media Podcast. Here with Buana Francis,
Yes.
enlightening us as always.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever people are.
Awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wasalimia hapo kwa camera. Tell them, hey guys.
How are
know,
you guys?
I hope you guys are learning.
You guys
From,
are-
yes. I hope guys are learning from everything we've been sharing. It's been so enlightening, so awesome. Thank you. I mean, we can't thank you enough for being on Aronex and as usual, making Aronex so awesome as always. Thank you so much. We're
It's my
privileged.
pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yes.
Excellent. Asante sana. So let's dive right into it. And I know last time we had a chat about healing, and we've been talking about healing actually all this time.
Yes.
And literally, healing basically in the psychological sense. So I think where I want us to pick up from today is healing within the family setting, couples healing. So
Okay.
maybe let's start from there. Tell us about how people heal as a couple.
Okay. So, if for us to understand healing as a couple, let's just first begin to ask ourselves, where are they not enough? Where are they not whole? You remember last time we were talking about healing, we said healing is making whole.
Yes.
Okay. So let's begin by asking ourselves, where are they not whole? So I'll take a couple of steps back, and I would say that in a marriage there are two people, and each of those people brings with them a whole baggage of history, culture, upbringing, individuality, and personal traumas. Okay, so on one level, marriage is two broken people trying to make or to live together. All right. So how are they broken? We'll begin by saying that people, I mean, we're talking about being brought up in different settings.
Yeah.
One of the jokes that goes around the internet is how we as young guys used to be beaten by our mothers until now we are then straight and narrow,
Yes. Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're grateful to our parents for straightening out.
Yes. Yeah.
However, depending on how our parents were, this straightening out did leave its mark. Okay. Let's take an example. It's something I saw the other day that, just stood in my head. So I'm taking my walk in my neighborhood. And as I'm stepping out, as I'm walking on the street, there's this mother and this small boy, probably about 2 years, maybe 3 years. And the boy is trying to follow the mom. And then the mom is, she's walking on the road and she's shouting at the boy, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" And the boy is happily running after the mom.
Yeah.
And the mom looks behind and there's a rolling. And takes a small stick and starts hitting the boy
Yeah.
and tell him, "Can't you see the lorry behind you?"
Yeah.
Okay. So as kawaida, as ordinary as that looks, yeah, I remember looking at the boy's face and I'm wondering, and the boy is wondering, why is my mother hurting me? Yeah. And you can see that this is one of those moments that the boy who is 2 years, 3 years old is learning something.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the world. That the mother whom he loves and whom he depends on can actually hurt him. Right? So these small traumatic moments carry on with us to life.
Yeah.
So again taking that moment and we're asking ourselves, what does that boy learn about love from a parent at that particular moment? Okay? So the mother who is in control of the environment, is actually putting on her fears into the child.
Yeah.
So this boy now gets married.
Mhm.
Yeah. And again, he'll be, can I say almost, I'm extrapolating here.
Mhm.
Assume he also developed the same kind of fear. So he's controlling.
Yes.
He wants to control how the environment is.
Mhm.
So he wants, for example, um, not to get hurt.
Yes.
He wants to give a certain impression.
Mhm.
Okay. So he may want to lie
Mhm.
or tell small lies so that people take him to be a certain way.
Mhm.
He may want to give a certain impression. It's part of controlling the environment.
Correct.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So this is a kind of person who now gets into marriage.
Mhm.
He wants his wife to think about him in a specific way.
Mhm.
He wants his wife to accept his word when he gives it. He wants his wife to trust him
Mhm.
because that's part of the environment. Okay? So that's the kind of person who has come in because he was hurt at some point. He doesn't want to experience that hurt anymore. So he wants to control
Mhm.
how the people around him function.
Yeah.
Now, in my controlling how people perceive me, then again, I'll probably tell certain lies.
Mhm.
Yeah. I will present myself in a way that I'm not authentic.
Mhm.
I will say things and I will change my mind. Yeah.
Mhm.
I may be wishy-washy. Yeah. All those things.
Yeah.
They just point out to the brokenness of the person.
Yeah.
All right. So, marriage does accord us very nice opportunities for healing.
Yeah.
So, as human beings, first and foremost, we are wired to be in a relationship.
Mhm.
All right. We are wired to be our best selves when we are relating with other people.
Mhm.
That's how we are wired.
Yeah.
If you were to lock yourself up and go into the forest, yeah, and live by yourself,
Mhm.
you probably never know how good you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that, nobody can give you feedback on whether you're lying or you're not lying.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're
Mhm.
not being sincere with yourself,
Yeah.
the trees won't tell you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
If you just decide that you have no ambitions, the animals and the birds won't say this guy is lazy.
Yes. Yeah.
So the only time when we are getting the best out of ourselves is when we're in relationship with other people, and we give opportunity to those people to give us back feedback on how we are, right? So that sense of being in relationship with other people, not only do we need to be vulnerable so that we can allow other people to see us truly for who we are, but we also have to be able to allow people into our space. And that's what marriage is. I mean, you can't be married and then say, this is the kind of person I am.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether I'm making
Yep.
sense.
Keep going. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we are. We have this one person.
Yes.
This time I'll just stick with the guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is
Yeah.
already broken.
Yeah.
Okay. And the question is, does he want to get better? Does he want some healing? So anybody who gets into marriage definitely has his own or her own issues.
Correct.
I would call them small traumas.
Yes.
They're coming with their own baggage. And the question is, do they realize that this baggage actually is opportunity for healing? So we're always hearing people who say, I'm not perfect. Yeah, and people are very comfortable throwing that word out around. I'm
Yes.
not perfect. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
why are you expecting so much out of me? But I'm not perfect.
Correct.
But do they realize that this is actually an opportunity for them to actually get healing? So in a marriage, the first thing is do we realize that we actually need some kind of healing? Whether we're the men or whether we're the women in that relationship, whichever individual is in the relationship, do they realize that they need help?
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, because we cannot really talk about healing
Yeah.
if we don't know that we need healing.
So if we don't know that we have broken, or we don't know that we've actually carried our
Yes.
our baggage and our, as you call it, trauma
Yes.
into that space.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So, and we can hide, as I said, behind that
Yeah.
lie that
Yeah.
I'm not perfect.
Correct.
And in a sense, once in a while we fight for our shortcomings, and you don't know that when we fight for our shortcomings, we actually get to keep them.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I keep saying I'm not perfect, I'm
Yeah.
not perfect,
Yeah.
leave me alone, I'm not perfect.
Yes.
Then I leave you alone
In your
because-
imperfection.
In your perfection.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, yeah.
And I never take the chance to think that probably at that particular point, that's a point for me to start healing. I have to choose to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah? That I can actually become better. So how, first of all, let's think. How do our imperfections come out in a relationship? Yeah? So the first place is in our thinking habits.
Yeah.
Okay? So I had a client just a few minutes ago who was asking, is there faithfulness in marriage? Yeah?
Does it exist?
Does it exist?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I was telling, I threw back to her statistics
Yeah.
that we did a couple of years back,
Yeah.
where we asked people within a church system
Yes.
in Nairobi whether they have had, or what they think about faithfulness. And over 80% of the men had extramarital affairs,
Yeah.
and close to about 45% of the women had extramarital affairs.
Yeah.
So is there faithfulness?
Interesting. Possibly, I mean, the stats say it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Yes.
But if you ask all those people,
Yeah.
yeah, they think about faithfulness.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So who is faithful to who?
Yeah.
And what are we being faithful to? So the first part that you have to be able to very critically think about is our mindsets. Yeah. Our minds. What are our values? Yeah. Very, very critical. Because if we hold on to certain values, then we're going to make decisions based on those values. And if we are broken, then the values that we use to make decisions then are not completely correct.
Okay.
There is actually a word like, there should be a word actually, not there is. There should be a word like devalue.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
If a value is like honesty,
Yes.
the opposite of honesty is
Dishonesty. Yeah.
it's a dishonesty.
Yeah.
But people do not think about themselves as dishonest.
Yes.
Yeah. But they have a value around masking the truth. Yeah. If they're masking the truth and they use that as a basis of making decisions, then in a sense, a devalue.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So there should be a word for devalue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things like fear
Yeah.
or shame
Yeah.
or stereotypes. Yeah, these are the values that we do have
Correct.
that make us
Yeah.
make decisions.
Yes.
So if you are looking around the word faithfulness, for example, yeah, the opposite of trust is what?
Distrust, maybe. Untrust.
Or untrust.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it? Do I trust or distrust myself?
Yeah.
Do I distrust my wife?
Yeah.
Do I distrust the institution of marriage? So what are the things around there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we don't have the correct values, then how are our behaviors? Okay.
Yeah.
Then we behave accordingly. Yeah. So if I don't trust my wife, then I'm going to keep things away from her. So that's one of the areas where we need to think about how our traumas come out in marriage.
Okay.
Another place that comes out very, very clearly is in our attitudes. Okay. So again, based on this simple
Yes.
example of
Yeah.
statistics are not lying,
Yeah.
there is an attitude that all people who are married, all of them are being unfaithful. It's an attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, how do you behave?
Unfaithful. Because you hold on to it, right?
Yes, you're
Yes.
holding on to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But attitude goes slightly beyond that.
Yeah.
It kind of colors
Mm-hmm.
your world.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're not trustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or if you think people are not trustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
then how would you talk to somebody who is not trustworthy?
Mm. You already paint them in a certain picture.
You paint them in a certain
Yeah,
picture,
yeah.
and then you make sure, then that picture becomes the reality.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's even even when you're engaging with them,
Yes.
there's already a way that
Correct.
they're less in a certain way. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you
Because you literally see them through that lens anyway,
exactly
and that becomes your reality.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's now our attitudes.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's somebody who was writing
Mm-hmm.
and saying we think life is a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and then we act that way, and we forget what it is. It's a whole long story, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
What's another way
Mhm.
that our brokenness shows itself?
Mm-hmm.
How do we express our wants and our needs in marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do we express that we care?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do we give love or take love
Mm-hmm.
in the marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of those guys who the first thing is, I gave you a car.
Mm-hmm.
Said, yeah, therefore I show you I love you.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
I've built for you a house.
Yeah.
Therefore I show you I love you.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had those women who
Yes.
say, I've born for you the kids.
Yes.
Therefore,
Yes.
yeah. So what about me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how are you showing me that you
Yeah.
love me?
Yeah.
Me, I've given you kids. So
Mhm.
how do you show me that you love
Yeah.
me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's a very, very big thing. How do
Mhm.
we give love? How do we take love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I will say this, that if at any one point you're talking to a spouse and you
Mhm.
say, what about me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your trauma they're showing.
Yes.
So in the relationship,
Mhm.
how do you breathe life,
Mhm.
or how do you destroy
Mhm.
the relationship?
Correct.
All those are little areas
Yeah.
that show you these are opportunities for
Ah.
healing.
Yes.
Okay, so if you get home
Mhm.
and for example me, I go home
Yeah.
and I look at my wife and I feel tired.
Mhm.
That's a sign there's something wrong that I'm
Yes.
carrying. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If I'm always thinking about opportunities
Yeah.
for being with somebody else,
Yes.
that's something wrong.
Yes.
If I'm always looking around and I feel distrustful,
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. If my attitude is that every woman I see, for example, says I'm a man, every
Yes.
wife I see, I know they are just waiting for a chance.
Yeah.
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 And that's a point. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a place for me to think about
Mhm.
of healing.
Yes.
If I look around and every time I'm thinking around, how come she doesn't think about my needs?
Mhm.
Then that's a point of healing.
Yes.
If my behaviors are
Mhm.
not in sync
Mhm.
with what I think my values should be,
Mhm.
then again those are points of healing.
Healing. Okay.
Yeah. So
Mm.
so we have to be able to look at all these points.
Yes.
Yeah. And then make a decision.
Yeah.
Do I need healing or do I not need healing?
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's take the example of how we relate.
Yes.
Every time I'm thinking about what about me,
Mhm.
okay. So here I am.
Mhm.
There's a story.
Yes.
Allow me to tell weird stories.
Yes.
There's this guy who was sharing about marriage,
Mhm.
and he says he had been to a conference.
Mhm.
He had given one of his best lectures. One
Mhm.
of the best lectures. He's actually wowed the whole public.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he comes. He goes home that
Mhm.
evening
Mhm.
feeling on top of the world.
Yeah.
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 And he's
Yes.
as a man, when you're
Yeah.
feeling on top of the world, what's the next thing that you want?
You want, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So he goes and elbows the wife.
Uh-huh.
That says, "Hey,"
Hey.
and then
Uh-huh.
says, "Not tonight." Now, that's something we can all relate to as
Yes.
men.
Yeah.
But he's also asking himself, why isn't she meeting my needs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that what has been happening to her. All he's focusing is he's feeling good, he's
Yes.
feeling on top of the world.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So at what point do we ever sit down and actually think, what about my wife? What has she been having?
Yeah.
What had they been like? Yeah. And that's, asking, how are you?
Yes.
How's your day? Yeah. I'm feeling on top of the world. How can I make you feel better? Yeah. Moving away from what it is that I need
Yes.
to how can I make you feel on top of the world? Okay. How can I make you feel as good as I am feeling
Yes. Yeah.
before we go and jump into bed and do all
Yes.
those kind of things? Yeah. Taking a minute to reflect that just because I've had a good day or just because I've had a bad day
Yeah.
doesn't mean that my partner has had a good day or a bad day.
Oh, bad day.
Yeah.
Correct.
So let's move out of our circumstances and let's connect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody has a way they like being shown love. Okay. So what's your love language? Can I connect to you using a love language, for example? Yeah. Now when we start connecting there, we start moving things in a slightly different way. It's no longer about what it is that I want.
Yeah.
It's about, can I make you feel better?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yes.
And that's really why that and how that partnership works. Even it stops being about I, the old adage, the old saying, when it stops being about I and starts being about we, then that's when
Yes.
that's the right path.
That's the right path.
Yeah.
But before it becomes we,
Yeah.
there is always that part of, am I really listening to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's me and then there's you.
Yeah.
At what point does it me and do I start listening to you?
Yeah.
When I start listening to you, then we can have a we.
Ah. Okay. Now that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
So in a lot of time when I'm working with couples,
Yeah.
there is a whole aspect. Are they aware how broken they are? Are they aware how their brokenness is showing up in their marriage? Are they aware of the opportunities for healing?
Yeah.
And if they are, yeah, are they also aware they can actually choose healing? Because healing doesn't happen.
Yes.
When we are running up and down and playing all manner
Yes.
of sports,
Yeah.
I will fall down.
Correct.
Yeah. And my wound will actually heal.
Yeah.
I will get a scrape, there'll be a bit of blood, then the scar. But in life, if we actually want to be healed, we have actually to choose to heal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to choose
Yeah.
to try and become better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to choose to get feedback,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, around the places where we are hurting,
Mm-hmm.
and then choose to become better or choose to be healed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, is a very big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if your wife tells you you're a liar,
Yeah.
what's the first thing that you do?
You no.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
you have to be able to sit down and take us, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I did tell something that's not
Yes.
completely truth.
Yeah.
Therefore, can I say sorry?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a whole big choice.
Mhm.
And it takes a lot,
Yeah.
whether you're a man, whether you're a woman,
Yeah.
to actually start receiving feedback.
Yeah.
And that's start intentionally
Mhm.
choosing to become better.
Excellent. So we have actually talked about how would I know that I require healing.
Mm-hmm.
So now, hard question. Oh, not so hard.
So you are telling us about that story of men are dogs.
Exactly. So I was saying, just the way you mentioned it is, or rather, what struck me when you said the way that you will carry your issues into the relationship, and then you will always, if you decide, for example, men are dogs, you will always look at everyone that you're speaking to as a dog.
Exactly.
So what I ventured out to suggest to them is, hey, do you know dogs are lovely? Dogs are faithful. Dogs are such amazing creatures.
Cuddly.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And they're so genuine.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they care. Dogs actually really care for, whoever they're living with.
Exactly.
Yes.
So on you can actually hear that attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually an attitude that these guys are just,
Yeah.
and they don't look at the other properties of dogs.
Correct.
So to speak.
Correct.
Because they may actually notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those things we say it's a general belief
Yes.
out there that there's and dogs is about promiscuity.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, they don't mate for life. They mate with whoever. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, it ties into what we're saying that
Yeah.
this, if I look at that as my starting point.
Yes.
It actually doesn't talk more about the guy I am with in my life right now. Yeah, it actually talks more about my own fears and my own limitations and my own traumas.
Yes.
Because people will relate to you
Yeah.
based on their own fears.
Correct.
So if at some point, as a lady, I have a fear of being abandoned, then I might also not fully invest in the relationship. Therefore, the day something happens, you see, I told you, you're going to
Yes.
leave me.
Yeah.
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 So it's in a sense, if we don't address the fears in our marriage, they tend to play out.
Yes.
Yeah. We actually tend to create those points of pain that are there in marriage.
Yeah.
If I don't trust my wife, yeah, and all of a sudden I find that she has another savings account.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a sense, it is my distrust that caused her to believe that I am not trustworthy enough. So she puts her money or hides her money elsewhere. If I don't engage with her relatives openly and in a friendly way, she might decide that I don't like her relas. So she might actually invest in her relas
Yeah.
more than she invests in mine.
Correct.
It's actually, in a sense, my trauma that starts manifesting in the issues we have in our marriage.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if I don't choose to start working on those things, then I will always be saying, men are dogs. That's why even me, I can also be.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
After all,
Yes.
there is no
Yeah.
trust in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So those moments are there, and we have to choose to be able to be aware of them. Yeah. Now the goodness is that, as I said earlier, marriage actually provides one of the best systems of healing if we can actually just use it.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I find a lot of people is that with trauma comes issues of distrust and issues of fear and issues of shame. Let's just talk about those three.
Okay.
Distrust, you're not able to trust one another.
Yeah.
Distrust also means that you're not able to be open, to be vulnerable to the other person. Then we have the issue of fear. You have all these small phobias. Then you also have what was the other? Shame,
Shame. Yeah.
where you feel you're not good enough. Okay. Now you have a partner who, for some reason or the other, at one point said, "You know what? I'm willing to live with you."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Despite your issues, they're willing to live with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that level, they're willing to accept all your virtues and all your faults. Okay. So if you were to invest in this person, you know that, you can, you can, let's talk about shame.
Yes.
You're not enough.
Yeah.
But you can only stand naked in front of your partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your parents.
Yeah.
Not your brothers and sisters.
Correct.
Yeah. Not your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of us can only feel stand naked
Yeah.
in front of our partners.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a person can be like that, what part of shame can we talk about? We can talk about being able to logically look at your fears. Again, you have a person who can listen to you and ask, you're still afraid of spiders?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As silly as that sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. but we can actually work together.
Mm-hmm.
But the most healing
Uh-huh.
actually comes from being with another person,
Mm-hmm.
just being together. So there's all this aspect in science around something called touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that if you touch somebody or let somebody touch you,
Mm-hmm.
we have all this chemical reaction that goes through our body. We have oxytocin as a
Yeah.
hormone being released. Yeah. We have adrenaline, we have serotonin, all of those things being
Correct.
released. Yeah.
Correct.
The endorphins, the works.
Yes. Yeah.
And those things work miracles without you knowing. So science tells us today that if you sleep next to your partner and you're skin to skin, yeah, just sleeping
Yeah.
skin to skin,
Yeah.
your stress levels actually reduce. You have better sleeping qualities. Now, if you have better sleep, your
Yeah.
stress levels reduce.
Yeah.
You're more likely to trust.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're more likely to be more brave in a place that would have caused you fear.
Yes.
Yeah, you're more likely to accept yourself and reduce shame just by sleeping next to your partner, skin to skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're touching each other with your hands, yeah, this is magnified almost 10 times
Yeah.
just by sleeping next to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one way.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
lie next to each other, skin
Yeah.
to skin, enjoy
Yeah.
each other's company.
Yeah.
Another way, again, when you're together, is synchronizing your breathing. Just breathe at the same rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this has again a deepening sense of connection.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there are societies in the East that really talk about synchronizing breathing is all about connecting at a deeper spiritual level. Okay, very easy
Yeah.
technique that you can actually use
Yeah.
to connect at a very deep level with your partner. Third option, spending time together. Okay, just watch a movie,
Yes.
go for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, magic happens. It's not just about the things that have hurt us. When we are doing things together, our traumas actually start dissipating slowly by slowly. Yeah. So spending time together is extremely critical.
Okay.
Now, if you're to build on that, and let's have dates,
Yes.
so that we're not just spending time,
Yeah.
but we're having fun
Yes.
together,
And intentional.
and intentional
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Now that again is magical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives all the room that you need for forgiveness, especially if there is a game or dancing or playing around that fun and that dating. They say, is it Plato who said that an hour of play, you can learn more for a person in an hour play than 3 years of conversation. Yeah. So when you're playing, you get to know each other more. You
Yeah.
get to take a bit more risk with each
Yeah.
other. You get to, activate different hormones which bring you closer together.
Yeah.
So those things are already available to couples should they want to.
Interesting.
However,
Yeah.
you see the point. You
Yeah.
have actually to be willing
To do it.
to do it.
Interesting.
You have to be
Yeah.
able to take the you have to accept within yourself
Yeah.
that I am broken.
Yes.
And if I do these few simple things, then I'm already on my path
To healing.
to be healed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing about it is being intentional. Okay. I am in a marriage, and despite the statistics,
Yeah. Yeah.
most people actually stay married.
Yes.
Despite what the statistics say, most people actually end up staying married.
Okay.
So you're going to be married for a longer period than you are single.
Then you're not married. Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of marriage do you want? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And I know that I'm coming to this marriage with my imperfections.
Yes.
Is it possible that for me to use my marriage to become better? That's it.
Exactly.
These are the
Exactly.
questions that
Yeah.
we need to start asking ourselves.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about healing in marriage, and the things that you actually have to do
Yeah.
don't require a lot of effort.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's not nuclear science. Actually,
Yeah.
rocket science nowadays is easy. Elon Musk has showed us it's not
It
that
is
hard.
exactly, exactly. But it's not even at that level.
It's not at that level.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
talking about being able to do extremely simple things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I challenge anybody who is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they've been having moments
Mm-hmm.
in their marriage where they're not happy with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask them to become physical,
Mm-hmm.
but spend, 10 minutes in bed
Yes.
touching skin to skin
Yeah.
for 1 week.
Yeah.
Don't get physical.
Yeah.
Don't make it,
Yeah.
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 Just spend time touching skin to skin
Mm-hmm.
and come back and give us a feedback of what happens.
Mm.
Yeah. And if you want to take that just a bit further, yes, you've been having
Yes.
conflicts.
Mhm.
Yeah. When you get to bed, try and synchronize your breathing.
Yeah.
The same thing, you're touching skin to skin
Yeah.
and then add on synchronizing of the breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it out. Let's get some feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about something as simple as hugging?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we are married, we hardly ever spend time hugging.
Correct.
Yeah, unless we are getting
Yeah.
physical again.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it's not really a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a hug is something that's beyond 5 seconds.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hold somebody,
Mm-hmm.
hold them just, nicely.
Yes.
And the point where it becomes a hug is when you take a deep breath in and release.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably takes about 5 to 7 seconds. If you're very rigid, it will take
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
But you're holding somebody.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 10.
Mhm.
No? Those are the small things.
Yeah.
If you start putting them deliberately into your marriage, your healing starts happening.
Okay.
But it has to be a choice.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Wow. Excellent. Good. So, I like how this has come round together, because in the beginning you said someone has to recognize
Yes.
and make a choice.
Make a choice.
That they need to start walking down the path towards healing.
Yes.
And we've ended it with, those are, 3 things that you can do.
Yeah.
Skin to skin.
Mm-hmm.
You've made a choice to do skin to skin. You've made the choice to synchronize your breathing.
Yes.
And then just hug.
Just hug.
Excellent. Excellent. Simple.
Can I put also there?
Of course. Yeah.
Next level.
Uh-huh.
Kiss.
Yes.
Not the kiss for getting into
Yes.
bed. Just
Yeah.
little pecks
Yes.
here and there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that will also make the difference.
You would be surprised at how
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
your marriage will move from rocky
Yes.
to okay, we can do this.
We can. Okay.
And it probably will not take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
But please note,
Yes.
as you said, it's
Uh-huh.
actually an intention. So
yes.
even if it's only one person
Yeah.
in the marriage
Yeah.
who is doing this,
Okay.
the intention is there,
Mm-hmm.
the healing will start.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have to wait until you're in sync. Just take the initiative yourself
Yes.
and start.
And start. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. So if they don't get results, you know where to reach Francis. His numbers are on the screen, his email address, and his Facebook and his website. So looking forward to all the feedback that we get. Awesome. Thank you so much, Francis,
Most welcome.
for this enlightening session.
Most welcome.
And next time we talk about something a little less happier or happier, depending on how we'll bring it out.
Okay.
Is in case the marriage then falls apart, then what?
Okay.
How do we then take that healing forward? Because maybe people missed the bus, and they didn't quite start the healing inside.
They didn't hug enough.
They didn't hug enough. Exactly. They didn't hug enough. They didn't skin to skin enough. So what happens to that in the next step?
Let's talk about it next time.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. And yep, God bless.
God bless you too.
Amen. Out of here.